Hey guys, we're just a few days away from Midnight Mayhem, and I hope that all the car preparations you guys have been working on for the past month or a few months are going well, and that you're ready to race come Saturday. So, that being said, we thought it'd be a good idea to continue this video series with a video about what to expect and what to bring to Midnight Mayhem. So, this is going to be a little bit of a longer video because we've got a lot to go through, and I've got a cheat sheet below the camera here. So, bear with me as I look down at that occasionally, but. Let's go ahead and get right into it with what to bring and what to know before you show up on site. So that being said, I highly encourage you guys to go ahead and pre-order everything you can: t-shirts, tickets, get your waivers signed online, because it's just going to make your day go a little bit smoother in the morning, and you'll get through all the lines a little bit quicker. Just to let you know, we have 100 cars coming from 49 different schools, and we're anticipating about 900 to 1,000 students to come to Midnight Mayhem this year. So it's the biggest event we've ever had, and registration opens at 8 a.m. on Saturday, and we got to get through all 900 of those people. So the more people we have that pre-order and sign their waivers online ahead of time, the quicker we can get through that. Uh, Along those same lines, once you pre-order those tickets and sign those waivers, make sure you save a PDF copy of that to your phone, so that whenever you go through the registration line, all we have to do is scan that barcode on your ticket and waiver, and we'll get you checked in and get you get you with your wristband and get you over to tech and the rest of the dynamic events for the morning. Um, Also, make sure that you go out on our website and save a copy of all the different things on the rules and documents page. So that's maps, schedules, um, uh, transponder rental information, and so forth. That way you have all that available whenever you need it, especially for those who may not have data plans in the US. That's really crucial. Go ahead and save all that while you have the chance. Print it out, even put it in your trailer, so that everyone has access to all that information throughout the day at Mayhem. Also, just like competition, we're going to ask you guys to bring your own tech sheets, so that when you go through tech, before you get there, you guys will go through the checklist just like you do for competition to make sure that you think your car is passing tech, and then bring those with you to tech, and we'll go through it with you guys and get you onto brake check and onto dynamic events as soon as possible. So again, bring those with you like you would for competition. Also, make sure you're bringing cash for food. We will be able to do credit cards for any tickets or t-shirts that you purchase on site, but concession stands will be cash only, so make sure that if you plan to buy food at Nakota, that you have cash to do so. Uh, Last thing I wanted to touch on for the pre-Mayhem stuff, make sure that you bring clothes for all types of weather. So for those not from Kentucky, which is most of you, the weather in Kentucky during the fall can be anything from snowing to 90 degrees and hot. So just make sure you're ready for that. It looks like right now there's some rain in the forecast for the morning. So be prepared for rain gear as well. Just make sure you're prepared for all types of weather. So let's go ahead and move on into Friday, so the day before Mayhem. Like we've mentioned before, the gates will open at 6 p.m. So if your team is planning on camping Friday night, as long as you're there after 6, we'll let you in. And we'll have people on site to direct you where to park your cars, where to park your trailer, and all of that. So speaking of parking, this year a little bit different than years past. We're not going to allow any cars past the parking lots in the front of Dakota's property. This is really just a safety thing because, like I said before, we have 900 students coming. We're going to have 100 Baja cars running around. Chiha will be there with their ATVs towing. Just a lot of traffic, and we want to try to minimize that as much as possible. So when you get on site, we're going to ask that all the cars go ahead and park in the parking lot, and again, there'll be people there to direct you. And then your truck and trailer will go back to the paddocks. We'll park you where you need to go, and then we'll be asking you to drop your truck and move it up to the parking lot as well. So if you have things that are going to be needing to go back to the campground, tents, sleeping bags, clothes, whatever, I highly encourage you guys to throw that into your trailer, because we may or may not have a shuttle service going from the parking lot back to the campground. It really depends upon vehicle availability. So if you just go ahead and throw all that in your trailer, I know you'll have room for it. That just makes everything be that much closer to the campground for you guys to move it. So also, something we're going to be doing a little bit different this year is we're actually going to open registration on Friday evening for a couple of hours. So from 7 to 9, if your team is there, we'll go ahead and have everything set up to where you guys can go ahead and check in, get your wristbands, make sure your waivers are all good to go. That way, in the morning, instead of having to wait in line, you guys can continue working your cars and get ready for tech that opens at 9:30. So that's about it for Friday night that you need to know. We'll be there on site all day Friday, getting everything ready, getting tracks built, paddocks laid out, and so forth. So as long as you're there after 6, we'll be ready to have you guys show up. Moving on to race day. So it's an early morning for us. We're going to be opening registration at 8 a.m. we'll have two different lines. So if you pre-ordered your tickets and pre-signed your waivers online, you'll be able to go through one line. If you did not do that, you're going to go through a different line that's going to probably take a little bit longer because we have to have you sign waivers and handle cash or credit cards or whatever. So again, highly encourage you guys to go ahead and go online and pre-order everything, but if you don't, we will have two separate lines to kind of filter the two out. Also, tech will then open at 9:30, so make sure that you've already gone through the checklist on the tech sheet within your team, just like a competition. That way, as soon as you get to tech at 9:30, we can get started and get you guys through. One thing that's a little bit different than competition, it's in the tech sheet, but our governors are not set at 3,800. We set those a little bit higher at 4,200 RPM. So if you guys want to go ahead and set it that high, go ahead. You're still going to have to go through the engine tech process because we want to make sure that it's set properly, but it will make the engine tech process go a little bit quicker if it's already set there. And then dynamic events will open at 10 o'clock. So that'll be maneuverability, acceleration, and Baja Cross. So we're really excited about those three events. Acceleration is going to be a drag style event just like you would see at an Auburn competition. They're actually bringing their light tree up here with us, so we'll be using that there. Maneuverability, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a fast maneuverability course as opposed to the usual slow, tight-turned maneuverability courses at a competition, but it's still going to test your driver's ability to handle the car. So we're excited about that. And we're also really excited about Baja Cross. It's actually sponsored by a new sponsor, Super ATV. It's going to be a side-by-side style S&T event. So we're going to have two lanes running next to each other, two cars going at the same time. It's going to be a lot of fun and really fun to watch. Also, so dynamic events, like I said, are going to open at 10 a.m. They're going to close at 12:30 for a half an hour to allow our volunteers to have a bit of a break, go to the restroom, whatever, and also eat lunch. So half an hour for that. We'll resume back at 1 o'clock and we'll run dynamic events until 5. Tech will close at 6, and then we will start getting ready for endurance. We'll have a meeting just before we start gridding to kind of go through the rules of endurance. Again, it's kind of the same standard practices as an official competition, but we want to make sure everyone's aware of what's going to go on and the procedures and protocols behind endurance. So from there, it's going to be just endurance racing until midnight. We're really excited about that. We've got the new wood section that we weren't able to run last year. We're hoping we're going to be able to do this year, which will make our track about 2 miles long. So it should be a pretty good track for you guys to run on all night. Another thing about the paddocks and just driving around the competition site in general, it's just like a Baja competition. So if you're driving your car, first of all, you have to pass brakes. Our tech stickers are going to be very similar to what you see at a competition. It's going to be 3 pieces, one for engine tech, one for tech, and one for brakes. So once you have that third and final piece of the tech sticker, you are free to drive your car about the site, but we do ask that you keep it at a walking speed just like at a competition. And someone always next to the car. Don't put your hand on the car. Just like competition, we want you walking next to it, but not your hand on there so you don't get run over by the wheels. So I mentioned just a few minutes ago that Super ATV is a new sponsor that is sponsoring the Baja Cross event this year. Just wanted to give you a little bit of background about Super ATV. They're a company based in Madison, Indiana, and they specialize in developing aftermarket components for ATVs, UTVs, and other off-road equipment. So we're really excited to have them be a part of the Midnight Mayhem family. We can't wait for them to be there. They're going to have some really cool products on display throughout the day. We're hoping to maybe do a little bit of a demonstration of what their products can do on the endurance track just before endurance. And they'll have recruiters on site to talk to you guys about any co-op or full-time internship job opportunities they may have coming up in the near future as well. So I highly encourage you guys to stop by their booth and say hi. So Cummins is coming back once again this year. They've been sponsoring Midnight Mayhem since 2012, and this year they're sponsoring the endurance race and the technology aspects of the competition, so the Baja Mobile, things like that. And we're really excited to have them back. They're bringing some really cool stuff this year. They're bringing a Ram 2500 with a 6.7 liter engine, the new Nissan Titan XD that launched back in December of last year, and the 5 liter V8 that goes with it. They're bringing that. They're also bringing a concept vehicle, which is a Nissan Frontier with a 2.8 liter 4-cylinder engine. And that engine is not actually available in the U.S., so I highly encourage you guys to check out that booth. Again, they'll have recruiters on site just like Super ATV, so if you're looking for a co-op or internship or a full-time job here soon, definitely go over and check them out and talk to them. The last thing I wanted to touch on is the new electronic flag system that we've been developing. Brad mentioned this in an earlier video briefly. I thought I'd go into a little bit more detail about it with this. So I've been working, it's one of my projects or big projects this year, working with Mike Zeman and the guys who bring you Baja Mobile at an official Baja competition, as well as some of the other guys on the planning team here, to develop a system of electronic lights that will be placed around the track to kind of assist the corner workers in flagging for wrecks and traffic jams and things like that on the track. So, like I said, you'll see these placed on the side of the track during endurance. When you're gridding and just before the race starts, they'll all be red. And then whenever we wave the green flag, Mike will hit a button inside the scoring center to signal them all to go to green, so that everyone around the track knows that we're starting the race. And then from there, they'll become locally controlled by the corner workers. So an example I like to give to kind of describe these things is, say there's a hill and someone rolls end over end down the hill and is on their side down at the bottom. Obviously, the oncoming traffic is not going to know there's a car down there. So these flags will be placed at the top of the hill, and the corner worker will have a remote in his hand, and they'll push a button and it will go to flashing yellow. That way the cars coming on will know to slow down before going over that hill because there's trouble down at the bottom. So this is something that we're really excited about. We're really hoping that Baja, or that SAE, will want to pick these up in the near future and utilize them. And I'm really excited to know what you guys also think about these as well. So be looking for those during the race and let us know what you think. So with that, I think that's all that I have to cover. That's all I have on my notes here. We're really excited to have you guys here. Again, this is going to be the biggest Midnight Mayhem we've ever had, and we hope that you guys enjoy what we put together and that you guys are going to have a blast this weekend. So that being said, we'll see you in 5 days.